have you seen kind of from the guys that the weapons they've surrounded you guys with? I mean, so many different possibilities. Arthur has so much potential to kind of make something happen. What do you see from it? Does it excite you?
I mean, yeah, as an offensive lineman, your whole job is just to do your job to allow those guys to make plays, and when they make plays, that's your excitement, your enjoyment as an offensive lineman. So to see some of the plays that guys make out there, either the catches or the runs that they're able to find, or finding the right hole, it's pretty amazing. And it's the NFL. There's so many talented players, but then you really get an appreciation for it when you sit back and watch it on film. You're tired in practice, but you go back and watch it on film and really see how amazing some of the plays guys made throughout the day.
I feel like last year you guys really made the next step at the unit. You guys, like, it was well known, and especially you. Where can you guys go this year? Like, what's the next step internally that you guys want to see?
Continuing to develop and grow as a unit. You can set goals, but what really is important is getting better and getting better as a unit. And so constantly trying to improve our communication, and we have a standard of how we're going to go out every day, and the physicality we're going to work with and the tempo we're going to work with, and so that never changes. That's our identity. But then just trying to constantly get better technically, and that's our challenge, is to just get better every day.
And how do you kind of quantify it? Do you guys set a goal? Is it kind of just something where, like, we got better today and that's that?
I think it's more of the, you can always count and track the pre-snap penalty, so you always want to eliminate those. But then after that, it's, working on a fundamental piece. So what are you trying to focus on that day, and then did you go out there and execute it? And then did you repeat the same mistake, or were you able to grow and kind of move on? And that's kind of the mindset.
Probably, what are you seeing out of the offensive line so far through training camp? I know you kind of.
Yeah, no, but it's been awesome. The guys have been able to work with, and the standards we set, I feel like guys have come out and really executed it, and that makes you really proud to be a part of the unit, and really fortunate to have these guys out here with you.
There's a lot of new faces under the defensive line as well. Obviously, it's not full speed yet, but what are you seeing from those guys?
They're really physical. I mean, they're strong. They're really, really talented up front. I mean, David and Grady are two of the best interior guys in the NFL, and so the fact that we get to work against them every single day is a challenge, but in the same sense, we're really grateful for it because we're able to get better.
And with the offseason you have, does anything change in terms of your role in the locker room, O-line room, anything like that?
Not really. I try and just be myself, and you don't want to change much from what got you to where you are, and so I think we have a mindset that we had success as a front last year, and we did a lot of good things, but we have a lot of things to improve, and the same thing personally. So just really staying true to ourselves and true to our identity, but then also identifying kind of what we need to get better at, and then just attacking improvement every day.
Awesome. It's been going well. A lot of hard work. I love how this team grinds. I love how we all have built a chemistry on continuously just wanting to win. So it's been fun. It really has.
There's been like a lot of talk just about the energy and the excitement of
Yeah.
this and being a part of it and seeing it. Do you feel like, the winning mentality?
Most definitely. I think that, especially the way we approach the day, just when we come in, it is not very common or easy for guys to just wake up in the morning and have full padded camp practices. But for us to continue to come out here and continue to grind it out, continue to just want to get better for each other, it makes it that much easier for us to just be able to come out here and do what we got to do because we all want to win.
You're in a big receiver room as well. Just how do you hope to stand out this camp to the squad?
Just being myself, regardless of the mistakes, regardless of, the things that I do well. I think me just being who I am, it got me here in the first place. So I'll just continue to do that, staying consistent.
What does that mean, being yourself? What does that look like?
Playing fast. When my number is called, doing what I got to do, taking care of business, and, just continuously getting better each and every day. I think I'm really good at doing that. I'm really good at understanding and knowing who I am as a person. I think that some players struggle when they start to try to be something else or do something else that they're not. You know what I mean? I think that I know that I do a very good job of just being myself, playing fast. When the ball comes my way, making as many plays that I possibly can. You don't make all of them all the time. You want to, but being able to just shake it off, come right back, play, and be a leader for the rest of the team. I think I do that really well.
What's it like to just kind of watch Bijan and Kyle Pitts and Drake? Like,
It's great. It's great. You know what I mean? I think, you know, those three and collectively with everybody else on this team, we all do it together. We all collectively help each other to get better each and every day, seeing Bijan work, him come in and just fall in line. You know what I mean? Not even rookie, no rookie. You know what I mean? You're here now. Time to play, time to get it going. And, you know, he does that very well as everybody else, all the other rookies that have came here too.
What do you look forward to about just joint practices? Like, how can you kind of evaluate where you are, like, going up against someone else for the
I think it's, like you said, I think just going up against somebody else, it's always just good to see something different. We've been running the same routes on the same people for, you know, 2 weeks now, and even throughout, you know, the first, second, and third phase of OTAs, the same people. It's always good to see somebody else, see a different technique, and just know that somebody who doesn't really know you that well, you know, run some routes, play some football on them. It's always fun.
I feel like that the punt returner spot is a really good place for you to kind of get in there and compete. What have you kind of seen, and what do you think about your chances of like just competing there?
I think, you know, it's each and every day just coming out here and doing what I do, making sure no balls hit the ground. I think that's the most important part. Just being able to be reliable when it comes to making sure that, you know, catching onto the ball, and, you know, after that, just being myself and making plays when I had the opportunities to.
Do you have a chance to get over to Georgia State? I mean, you're very busy, but like, go
Yeah.
over there, say hi to them, go to any of their practices?
Yeah, throughout the summer I was working out there, so I saw them all the time. You know, I throwed QB every now and then when I was up there as well, but I always, since I got in the league, I always made sure to go back, you know, just to be able to be there, because it was important for me, Robert Davis, Albert Wilson, you know, guys like that, when they were in the league and I was still in college, seeing them come back, it's like, okay, when it's around you, you feel like you're taking that next step of being able to be there and do it more. Because if you're around it, you know, they say whatever you're around, that's your environment, that's who you are. Well, I always see myself as an NFL football player, so to be around other NFL football players made me do well. So, you know, I always try to do that as well for them.
So it's fair to say you've been used to the hot training camps, the fall camps since Georgia
Yeah,
State.
yeah, most definitely. Until I, you know, being on the West Coast, it's a little different, just a little bit, you know, not as humid, but, you know, it's great. I feel like, you know, being back home just gives me that much more of that strength. Like when Superman flies up and goes to the sun, he gets that strength. Like it being hotter, it feels better to me, you know what I mean? The work feels a lot better, you know, being back home feels a lot better, you know what I mean? So I'm excited. This is going to be a fun year.
What's it mean to you you're playing a stadium that you grew up in high school playing 40 minutes away, college playing 20 minutes? What's that mean to you to be back playing? You're representing your own team.
Man, it means everything. I mean, you know, my family is here and everything, so it's like I haven't really had the time to really just dig all the way into it and just soak it all in. But, you know, I keep my mind on it and just appreciate it each and every day. Like, I can drive right down the street and go see my family. I can go downtown and go back to Georgia State, go back to my high school, see people that I grew up with, people that I have relationships with that I haven't been able to see in a long time. But at the end of the day, it's all about the work. That's what I've always been about. Everybody understands that about me. My father came up to me today. He's like, man, I haven't heard for a year or seen you all week. I'm like, man, this is what it is, you know. Everybody is on board. I'm working. I'm doing what I got to do to be able to take care of my business and help this team. Because, you know, essentially right now, this, you know, and as long as that I'm here, I always take on the responsibility that this is my family. You know, we only have a limited amount of time that we have to play this game. So you got to cherish it. You got to make the most of it. And at the end of the day, do everything you got to do so that you can win, so that everybody else on the team can win as well.
The longer you play, do you approach training camps any differently, or is it depending on the team, the situation? I mean, how do you go about it?
Yeah, I approach it a little different. It just depends, you know. I think this year I wanted to take on a little bit more of a controlled and assertive aspect to how I brought myself along through the team. You know, I'm not as young as I used to be. I'm still young for sure, and I feel like I'm getting younger, my body, but I'm getting wiser and being able to know how to move my body and be more controlled and still moving fast as well. You know what I mean? So I think that each and every year, my father told me when I was younger, you know, just make the game slow down much more as you continue to grow. And that's what I do every single time, just film, you know, studying and just being out there, paying attention to the defense, what they're saying. You know, a lot of the times, younger players, you're just trying to know what you got. You're not really trying to listen to what the defense is saying and everything like that. So I've progressed in being able to just, you know, pay attention to more things on the field.
This offense has a ton of weapons. Who would you say is the number one option?
The number one option, I think the QB is the number one option. The center getting the ball to the QB, and then that's the number one option. But we have plenty of options, you know, from the backfield to all the receivers to the tight ends. Collectively, we all are great options to be able to go out there and help this team win.
Defensively, there's been a lot of talk just how nasty the line is and just even
Yeah.
the guys on the safeties. And
Yeah.
So who stood out to you? Because we've seen it, like Jalen Hawkins. Some of the guys have been talking about Clark Phillips is out there. We saw Helms today. I mean, who's kind of stood out to you? Who do you hate lining up against?
I don't hate lining up against anybody. I love being uncomfortable. I love working. And like you said, you're saying all these different names. You're answering it right there. It's everybody on that defense collectively. These guys are all tuned in. The chemistry is really good between them. And you can tell they're all fired up. They're all ready to go. And I think we all really like going up against them because they challenge us not just physically but mentally as well. You know what I mean? And it's going to be a fun year. I can't wait to watch them down in Miami going up against that offense.
You have a few years under your belt in, you know, preseason and making that roster. What is your mentality going into these games and where you need to land?
I think just being myself. I can't do anything outside of who I am. You know, I can continue to grow and build, like I was saying, but me just understanding what I'm capable of and doing it at the highest level that I possibly can, that's how I approach everything. And, you know, that's how I've been able to be in this league for going on 5 years.
Has it been your mentality throughout the way, or when did you learn that you just need to lock in and be yourself?
I've always been like that. You know, of course, along the way, like I said, certain things change. You tweak certain things to add to your tool belt, but I've always just continued to just be myself.
You've been with a couple different quarterbacks, so how would you describe Desmond Ritter and just his ability out there, and how is he under center and things like that?
Yeah, I think I've been around some older quarterbacks for the most part in my career, but for him, the mentality of just wanting to win, you know, that's what I've seen from other quarterbacks. That's what I see from him. You know what I mean? That's what you always want to see, just effort from whatever position that it is. But I see that he just wants to win. And, you know, that's all you can really rely on, and everything else you can learn along the way, and it comes with experience.
Have you tried to kind of pick CP's brain a little bit about returning? Any tips? I mean, I know kick return and punt return is a little different, but I mean, just he's the best returner in the NFL, I guess.
No, I haven't tried to pick his brain about any of those. I think that, you know, my mentality and just going out there and securing the catch, and just just being myself, go out there and making moves and getting upfield. Just, you know what I mean? This is a very reactive sport. Everybody's running at 19 to 22 miles an hour. You know, you don't have time to really think. If you're thinking out there, you're going to be behind. So for me, I just react. I just do what I do and do what I've done my whole career and my whole life that has got me to this point.
What do you look forward to just the first preseason game?
That exactly. The first preseason game, seeing another team, seeing somebody different, lining up against other DBs, and just working my craft. I can't wait. It's going to be fun.
How has training camp been so far for you? I mean, what have you seen? How are you staying cool, I guess?
It's been good. Believe it or not, it's my 10th one, so they're adding up. But no, I feel healthy. I feel great. Having a good time. And just speaking as an offensive line, we're working really hard, and I like the way we're heading right now.
What have you seen of the line so far? And obviously, you guys had the injury early on. So, what have you seen from the guys that have stepped up so far?
All good. You look at a guy like Bergeron, who's a rookie, and getting thrown in right next to me because of Henny going down. And I've been impressed by him in the way he's worked, and really his knowledge too. He's for how young he is. He's every day you can just tell he's getting more and more comfortable. So it's been fun playing next to him.
I feel like last year you guys really took the next step as a squad of the line. I feel like last year you guys really took that next step. What do you guys see as a unit this year to be your next step? What's the growth potential for you guys internally?
I think yeah, we consistently did a lot of good things last year. I think just taking it to the next level and then that correlate into more wins. You know, as a front, there's so much we can do, but you know, there's times where we can really take a game over and seal the deal. And I think that's our next step. So we start stacking more wins and consistently getting those numbers like we did last year.
How comfortable is it for you to kind of, now you look to your left, you look to your right, you see guys like Caleb and Chris where you're so comfortable with them now, you've been working with them for so long. How does that help you guys get better in times like this?
I think just playing O-line, man, it takes 5 guys being on the same page. And the more you get to know someone, you know, you can understand their tendencies and what they're going to do a lot of the time. So the more comfortable you feel, the better it is, making calls, IDing fronts, you know, being on the same page. So I think that's what we you know, are doing well.
And you said it's your 10th training camp. You're the longest tenured Falcon, and I feel like the buzzword so far this week has kind of just been like the different energy. Arthur said it a couple times. Do you feel that? I mean, you've been here now 10 years. Do you feel that? Is it different compared to other years?
Yeah, I definitely can see it, even compared to really the last couple of years. And I could really just want to speak as an offensive line. I think we feel really comfortable with what we're doing. We know what to do, how we want to do it, how we want it to look, and we just keep taking steps every day. We're a lot further past where we were at this point last year. And we did some good things last year, so we want to, you know, continue doing that. And like I said earlier, do even more.
How much do you look forward to just changing things up and going down to, you know, the team joint practices in Miami, just to face someone different a little bit?
Yeah, and training camp's a grind. That's what it's always been known as. It always will be. But it's fun to get out of town and yeah, go against some different guys. And it's going to be a really good competition. It's going to be hard-nosed football, and we're looking forward to it. Though I always do. I enjoy those joint practices.
How much more though do you feel like as a team in general can just kind of assess where you are going up against someone different than constantly the same guys here?
Yeah, I think you know, every week's a different challenge. So, you know, as much as I enjoy going against our defense, like you said, it is fun to mix it up and go against someone else who might be running a different front and have guys who play different techniques and whatnot. So it's going to be good for us. I think we're all really looking forward to it.
You guys will be ready for the heat.
Why are you
down
squirming?
There too?
Huh?
You guys will be ready for the heat down there too?
Yeah, that's something you got to account for sure. But it's part of being a pro.
You said you're further ahead this year than you were at this point last year. How do you quantify that?
I think just when you look at the film, we're IDing things better. We're not missing as many things. We're doing more advanced things than I'd say we were last year with play calls and stuff like that. And I think we're just feeling comfortable. And don't get me wrong, there's plenty to work on. But I like, you know, we just broke practice, and Coach Led, our line coach, is saying, you know, how proud he was of us, and we had a really good week this week. And I think in the past there's been times where we didn't stack days as well, and I feel like we're stacking more and more periods, more practices and days, and doing things well.
How's the run game evolved since Arthur came here in the 3 years? Have you just added more and more to it, or are you just doing it all better? How does that evolve?
A little bit of both. Maybe more of doing it better. He had the same philosophies when we got here. I think it took a while for guys to understand it and to get good at it. And then, you know, going into year 3 now with him, like I said, we feel more comfortable and feel like we're playing faster and more confident. And yeah, sky's the limit. It's up to us now.
How difficult is it to get comfortable with all the different ways you run the ball? I mean, they're all blocked a little different. I know a lot of that is repping it. So is that all it is? It's just taking the time to rep it all and rep it over and over and rep it for 3 years?
Yeah, and I was saying earlier, when you get a group of guys who can stay together as an O-line for a while, you get to know each other's tendencies and how we see things and approach things. And I think, yeah, just consistently banking that many reps and having that experience, it allows you to play faster. You're more confident, you're getting off the ball, and you're taking it to the defense more versus being unsure. So, yeah, I think we're definitely trending up in those areas.
Who's this little guy?
This is my boy, Beckett Matthews, my first son. He'll be 9 months and 6 days, I think. Yeah.
The next lineman in the family?
We'll see. His dad had enough pressure on him. We don't want to put any more on him.
You were kind of touching on you don't get much time with your son during this, few weeks. But what does it mean to have him out here and your wife to support you in this time here right now?
He likes it. No, it's awesome. It puts things in perspective. Makes it more fun too, I think. So one of my favorite things is finishing a good hard practice and then coming over here and seeing him. So, like I said, I don't get to see him much this time of year, so I figured I'd bring him over.
Were you able to obtain any personal goals during your time here in training camp?
Any what?
Personal goals that you obtained, or?
I think just like I said, this being my 10th camp, it's just consistently chipping away and getting better. And I think a lot of that, there's not one major thing that is a huge must. It's a bunch of little things. So yeah, I think continually working at that stuff, it's been going well.
I was curious, is this camp different for you than any other camp? About the same? And if so, how is it different? How is it the same after being here for a decade?
It's a lot the same. You know, I'm not treated any different because I'm the old guy, but it's been good. I think as you get older, not that it gets easier, but you feel more confident and the game slows down a little more. So every year it feels that way, and I just want to keep continuing that way and staying healthy and doing a good job here.